Hey everybody, my name is Megan McMillan and we are here at Eatmybeats headquarters in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And this week we have Ms. Victoria Camp, singer, songwriter in her own right, and member of Sweet Tea Trio. So we've got some questions for you today. Are you ready?
I'm very ready. Thank you for having me.
Okay. First of all, what made you get started playing music? You could have done anything else in the world. Why would you play music for a living?
Okay. First of all, I could not do anything else in the world because I figured, I'm not that good at school, so I might as well learn to play the guitar. But when I was like maybe 12, I had been taking piano lessons for a while because my parents, in our household, it's you play an instrument, you do a sport, you make good grades, you're good to go. So, I had been doing piano for a while, and then when I was 12, I asked my parents for guitar lessons, and they told me no. I was like, now how can I get out of this? So, I came back to them a couple weeks later. I said, hey, if I can play a song on the guitar, can I have lessons? They said, yeah, sure, baby. They're just going, yeah, whatever, okay. But I brought them into the living room. I brought them my mom's old 67 Alvarez that I had gotten new strings for, and I played them a song. And they said, okay, I guess you're going to have to get guitar lessons now. And that's kind of where it all started.
So this was in addition to piano, or you dropped piano after that?
I dropped piano after that. Let's just say my piano skills are a little rusty right now. But
well, it's good to have knowledge on both. So you learned your music theory on piano, and then you kind of transferred it to guitar.
And let me tell you, that is one of the best decisions that my parents could have helped me make as a kid. Just because my mom would set the timer on the piano, said, you're not getting up until 30 minutes is over and you're going to practice. And, learning theory and being able to, when I'm playing guitar, I can see all the keys on a piano. It's easier that it's laid out that way in my mind.
I can relate,
It's so much easier.
So, I know we're on an interview here, and this is going to be plastered all over the internet, but I'm just going to ask. You don't have to answer, truthfully. But I had a great piano teacher when I was a kid. I really did, and she really instilled the love of music in me when I was a kid. Did you have one of these older, bitter ladies who's like smacked your wrist with a ruler? Oh, you did?
Oh my gosh, yes, I did. I'm not going to name any names, of course, but I took lessons from her maybe about 4 years. And I would be so just, oh, Mommy, I don't want to go, just because she was so strict. But, at the end of it, it was like an end of, like every month, I would get a prize. So the prize
you survived.
Made up for it. I survived.
Yeah,
and,
that's good.
As strict as she was, she really, really helped teach me a lot of things. But yes, she was.
So we can be appreciative. That's tough love.
Tough lovers.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. We're glad that you persevered. So I know you're a songwriter and you're a performer. And which one do you like to do more? Which one's easier for you?
Hands down, songwriting.
Really?
When I was 13, I wrote my first song. And actually, it's on my EP, which is on Reverb Nation right now. If you look up Victoria Camp music on Reverb Nation, you can just see all my songs that are on there, and you can download them. It's called Joyride, and I had never really heard anything about songwriting, and I knew nothing about it. I just saw all these people, on TV and on CMT talking about how they wrote songs, and I was like, man, I really, really want to do that. So I gave it a whirl, and it ended up on my first EP. So that's kind of how my songwriting got started.
The very first one?
I think,
wow.
Yeah, I believe it was the very first one.
I don't want anybody to see my very first song.
I really
don't.
Some of the ones in between here and there were, I don't want anybody hearing those at all.
Right, ever. Yeah. Well, that's really, to me, I have a lot of respect for people who can write songs, get on stage, perform those songs that they've written. It's a full circle thing, and it takes a lot of talent. So good for you. Not everybody can do that. So tell me a little bit about, I know you have your solo thing going, and also Sweet Tea Trio. That's completely blown up the past couple of years.
I love me some Sweet Tea.
Just tell me a little bit about what y'all do, where you play, the girls. Just tell me a little bit about.
So the girls, Kate and Savannah, Kate Falcon, Savannah Coker, we're all three best friends. We travel around the Southeast. We're branching out to new states now, doing festivals. Festivals are kind of our main gig we have going. We're playing in Slidell, Louisiana, the 19th of March, and then we have another Louisiana gig in May, and then a Georgia gig in May, and we're getting out there, which is really great. We sing, obviously, country music. We write our own stuff. We love to write with other people. And I guess our main goal as a group, you know, when we first got started, we had met through a man named Steve Pennington, who is the Showstoppers promoter, and he formed a group called Nashville Bound. And we were all little individual kid solo artists within this group. It was the first time he had ever done something like this. We were kind of the guinea pigs. And he set us up in a room one day and said, look, girls, you have an assignment. You got a show Friday. This was like on a Tuesday. He said, you got a show Friday, and I want the three of you to get up on stage and sing. Learn this song by tonight. Start practicing it. You're going to sing it. And me or Kate had never sang with anybody, ever. So,
and that's crazy that you didn't choose each other.
We didn't.
You were chosen for each other.
It was just a God thing. It's just, you know, the stars aligned, and we somehow became Sweet Tea, you know. But, you know, we learned the song and we performed it, and we got a response that we were not expecting from anybody. And later that year, we had a competition called the C Factor at the World Deer Expo, and we had to have a name. And you know, we tossed back.
Those are hard. It's really hard.
We tossed back tons of names, and you know, it was either two of us really loved it and one of us didn't, or two of them hated it and one loved it. And you know, one of my mom's coworkers said, "Well, what about Sweet Tea?" And I hated it. I hated it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the cheesiest name I've ever heard of." And Kate, you know, Kate's kind of the one that she's very serious, straightforward about her job. And she's like, no, and no. We're doing this. The name is sticking. We have to have a name by tomorrow. We're not coming up with anything else, obviously. So we're sticking to it. Me and Savannah were just like, fine. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
Maybe we can rework it later. You know?
Yeah, maybe we can, you know, we'll change it later, whatever. We'll just tell her yes for now. But we kind of owe it to her, you know, for sticking with that name. It really
stuck.
It really did. And, you know, after that show, it was just so many people. Everybody was going, oh, my gosh, that name is so perfect for what you guys do. So it caught on and it snowballed from there.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that even artists around Tuscaloosa and people that I know, even from the Gulf Coast, that, you know, they say, oh, I've heard this group, Sweet Tea Trio, at this festival, and I'm like, I know them. You know, I swear.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things where it really is amazing that y'all have gone from those kids who are trying to figure out your individual things to doing what you're doing now so quickly. It's really amazing.
Thank
so,
you.
and the fact that y'all are so young and you're all females and you all work together so well professionally, that's really something that's very, very admirable. I think. Because being a girl, it's hard to be around girls all the time. It really is.
Yes.
And it's hard to be around, you know, me traveling with guys. That's, you know, it's difficult in its own way.
Yes.
But, you know, I mean, I'm sure you understand what I mean.
It's a challenge sometimes, but, you know, we all three at the end of the day, you know, we love each other and we support each other and everything. And, you know, we just...
That's what it's all about.
We're in it to win it. You know, all three of us, you know, we all three have the mindset of, you know, look, if we stick to plan A and don't think about our plan B, plan C, plan D, of course you have them. But, you know, if you focus on your number one goal, then you will reach it. You know, we firmly believe that with, you know, hard work, which it has taken so much time and so many sacrifices to get where we are now. And I know that you as an artist understand that too, you know, but I dropped out of high school and did online high school to do Sweet Tea and to pursue that career. So we all three know how tough it is, but
well,
we love it.
It's definitely working for you. It's working for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you individually, Victoria, what is your main long-term goal?
So like you asked me earlier, songwriting, that's my number one passion. When I look at people who have great songs, I think, wow, you know, that's a song that makes me feel something. And I want to be that same person who, when I write a song, I want people to go, wow, oh my gosh, that song just hit me. You know, that hit me so hard. You know, if you write a song, me and the girls have written a song here recently called Fight For Me. And, you know, it's kind of about a relationship and, you know, a man going off to Afghanistan who's a young man and, you know, you're in a relationship with him and you don't want him to go. And we've sang that song and also Traveling Soldier. We do a cover of that by the Dixie Chicks. We love the Dixie Chicks. And the response from those songs that I know in my heart are great songs, people just fall all over it. It's magic. And I want to be that person who writes those songs that make people feel a certain way, make them feel happy, touch their heart. I eventually want to get a publishing deal in Nashville, of course. I want to get an artistry deal with the girls, Sweet Tea. And I really, really want to just write music all the time.
So
whether
I know
it's for me
you're
or the girls or other people.
Right, that's what I was going to
That's what I wanna
ask, because
do.
you're a very talented performer, but you don't really mind other people covering your songs.
No,
You don't
not
mind
at all.
Okay.
I actually
You don't mind getting the mailbox money then.
do not mind it. It's nice. It's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, right now, if I could, my contract with ASCAP, it timed out, so I'm looking at, BMI or CSAC to go register with, for all that mailbox money.
It's a really important thing,
Yeah,
because
I think it is too.
They do, and they have all of them have really redeeming qualities. It's just about finding the right fit for you.
Right,
so I'm sure that
exactly.
you will. I have one more question before we go, and I was very apprehensive about asking Victoria this question because I did not want to put her on the
goodness.
spot, but I decided, why not? Let's just put her on the spot and see what happens.
Put me on the spot, girl. Come on.
Yeah, she seems to be able to roll with it, so we're going to ask her. Recently, I think it was actually 2014 when this was a thing. Maybe it was last year. The important part is there was a radio programmer who made a comment about women in music, in country music specifically, being the tomatoes on top of the salad. Me and you talked about that. I'm not going to put my opinion out there. I'm going to ask Victoria what you think about it.
Well, what I think about that, the man, I don't recall his name, but he was being very honest. It is a male-dominated industry. Me and you both know that. It's Florida Georgia Line, Jason Aldean, Tyler Farr, Blake Shelton off the radio, and every so often you get a girl. You get Danielle Bradbury, you get Maddie and Tay, you get Martina McBride, Faith Hill. You get those women in there. But to me, this is just me. The tomatoes are the best part of the salad. Just for me, I don't know if it's...
How boring would it be with just a lettuce salad?
No dressing, no tomatoes or croutons or nothing. That's what I eat,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But
I feel you.
You feel me, but I guess, I don't know if I'm biased just because I'm a girl in the industry and I know how it is, but without either one, really, if you just had just women on the radio, women can, in reality, do not sell out arenas like men do. You go
You're
to
exactly right.
You go to a Kenny Chesney concert and it is packed. You go
stadiums, yeah.
Yeah, and you go to maybe a female artist and it's not as packed, and you go, wow, well this woman's so famous. Why is this not sold out? But I think that having women who empower other women in the industry is super important. Whether you work in publishing, you work with A&R, you work with artistry, you work as a manager, you work as an artist. I think that any of that is important, just as men are in the industry.
And it's a fine line. I think it's a very fine line when you go from you're on the point of trying to support other female artists, but then you're not trying to give yourself any advantages over a male artist either, because you don't want special treatment. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You just kind of want an equal opportunity to be able to get out there and show your stuff like men do. And it's all an evolving thing, and every few years it kind of turns around.
Absolutely.
So I think the point is to not complain about it, but just work harder and support each other.
Absolutely. I feel like you do. I feel like there's equal opportunity for everybody. This isn't before women had a right to vote. This is now. This is 2016. Women have the same opportunities as men, especially in the music industry. And I know that some people may favor the male artist. But to me, if you're a woman in the industry, you got to work just as hard as anybody, And don't
expect people to give you special treatment because you're a chick.
Absolutely. Yeah. And me, I was going up to Nashville when I was 15. So, I would never really tell anybody my age, just because I knew in my heart that people will not if you want to be a big girl and you want to go up to Nashville and you want to do your thing, make music, you got to act like a grown-up. People aren't going to treat you any differently just because you're a teenager. And, you know, I learned that, you know, after co-writes in Nashville, you know, they would ask our age and we'd tell them and they'd be like, you're kidding me. But, you know, that's why we don't do that, just because you want to be treated as equals.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so.
Well, that's a really good answer. It's a great answer. I'm glad I asked that question now.
Thank you.
All right, so just tell everybody, we're going to hear a song from Victoria in just a minute, but first of all, just let us know where we can find your music, your schedule, and also Sweet Tea Trio's information.
So I have a Facebook page, Victoria Camp Music. I put all my updates up there. If I ever upload anything on Reverb Nation, the link is always on my Facebook. The 5 songs I have downloaded onto Reverb Nation right now are on my Facebook page. You may have to scroll down a little bit, but the links are there, and they're available for download. Sweet Tea. So right now we're working on our album, and I'm really, 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 really excited for it. You know, this is something that the 3 of us have dreamed about doing for so long, like an album and something to hand to our fans and say, here, this is what you've been waiting for, this is what we've been waiting for. So we're working on that right now. We don't really have any music available right now, but all of our updates are on our Facebook page, Sweet Tea Trio. We have a website, and we also have merchandise on our website that you can buy. T-shirts, you know, sweet tea mugs, sweet tea bracelets, all sorts of stuff. www.sweetteatrio.com. So you can go check that out and just keep up with us.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see what you got to play for us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Megan.
Just met you, got your number, now you hurry away to home run. Fix mine. Lonely 3 kids, a picket fence, we'd fit together, picture perfectly. Obviously, you're driving me out of my mind. You're looking so fine. Oh, I know I'm a little clingy, but you sure are looking hot. And I'd rather be crazy for you than the sanity they got. I'm out of my mind. I called you, you ignored me, and I know you saw my name 40 times on your caller ID. You keep playing hard to get. I played this game a million times, haven't won yet. Obviously, you're driving me out of my mind. You're looking so fine. I know I'm a little clingy, but you sure are looking hot. And I'd rather be crazy for you than the sanity they got. I'm out of my mind, yeah. Woo, I'm out of my mind. Heed my warning. A straight jacket, Houdini style could never keep me from you. Locos, what you called me. I take a boat, try to sail it down a highway for